we're going to get into why we're so excited here and why we think, why we have so much belief in what we're doing here. If people want to come and have like a really unique camping experience, there isn't another way to do that I'm aware of in Tobermory.
For those of you who didn't grow up pitching your own tents, having air mattress, bringing your own pillows and sleeping bags, what we're trying to offer you is kind of a one-stop shop where you don't have to bring up any of those things. You don't have to know how to set up a tent. We have that all set up for you.
I consider what we do a luxury stay. Like it's a luxury experience, but it's still camping. So our price point and accessibility is very good.
This is 2 years already in the making, coming into our third year of cash flow producing. People are coming back. People are seeing us.
Welcome back to REI Hot Seat. Andrew Hines here with Zach Wilms yet again. And today we're talking about a very special topic. We're talking about an equity offering on our campground glamping site. We've talked about this for like a year in the making, that we were going to be bringing in partners eventually.
Yep.
And finally here to talk about it. But you know how the bean counters get when we start talking about this kind of thing. So we have to be just real careful here to very clearly state what we're doing here. So Zach, can you just at a high level, maybe just go through the things we got to make sure we say here?
For sure, guys. Yeah, not to bore anybody, but this is a Canadian securities offering. During this podcast, this investment is for accredited investors only. So the offering today that we will be discussing is not a solicitation for the sale of securities, but just for information purposes. We're working with an exempt market dealer who is actually going to be selling the securities and provide you with all the documents, such as the term sheet. We will be making some forward-looking statements, talking about returns, talking about kind of where we see the market going. These should all be treated with caution, as there's always risks with different investments, and what we're talking about today could turn out different. For any audio listeners, the disclaimer can be found at atlas1.ca/disclaimer.
/disclaimer. Yeah, but yeah, you can just visit it. I mean, I know some people are driving. You can just visit it at their website. So, and the point of saying that is, nobody can predict the future. So we can project returns, and it's based on the information we have. And
exactly.
Like, we're going to get into why we're so excited here and why we think, why we have so much belief in what we're doing here. But we have to throw that disclaimer in. And then, of course, the accredited investor part. So, okay, so let's get into what this is. So for those who don't know our camp, I've got the Instagram up here, and it kind of gives you the high level. I mean, it's lush, it's green, it's Tobermory area, Miller Lake, Ontario, to be precise.
Yep.
Which is about 20 minutes from Tobermory proper, and like where you go on the glass bottom boat and all that stuff. So like, here's one of our sites that, you got a little bit of a longer walk to get to your tent. It's a little bit more off the beaten path. And then wait, we can show more here. I'm not logged in, so we'll see how much it'll let me see. We've got trailers. We've got a view of a pond. So our thing has to date really been like, if people want to come and have like a really unique camping experience, there isn't another way to do that I'm aware of in Tobermory.
No,
like you're not going to find a glamping experience at all yet.
No, exactly.
Not to say somebody couldn't copy like offering glamping, but we've got like years of momentum.
Yeah, exactly. And even just take it even one step back too. What we're trying to accomplish here is glamping. Yeah. Some people don't even know what glamping is, because I've said glamping in passing, and people are like, what is glamping? And basically it's broken down into glamorous camping. Yeah. So for those of you who didn't grow up pitching your own tents, having air mattress, bringing your own pillows and sleeping bags, what we're trying to offer you is kind of a one-stop shop where you don't have to bring up any of those things. You don't have to know how to set up a tent. We have that all set up for you. We have luxury mattresses.
Well, so you get a bed, a nice pillow, a duvet.
Yeah, right. You're not going to get rain. Or I know I've been camping my whole life, and sometimes you wake up and the air mattress is completely deflated, and you're just laying on the ground and you're cold. That's never going to happen with what we have here. Yeah. So I think that's really what we're going for here, guys. It's a glamorous camping experience up in Tobermory. It's on 90 beautiful acres, and we're super excited about this offering here. Yeah,
there's just so many cool things about it. And I camped too as a kid, and I would, occasionally like wake up soaked in water or whatever. All of the things that you'd happen when you camp. So what we wanted to do when we offered this, and of course we were jumping onto a trend. We saw it. It was becoming popular in North America. This opportunity to get this campsite came up that was in Tobermory. Obviously, like, you have limited places to stay in Tobermory to begin with. There's like barely any hotels, motels. There's campgrounds, but I mean, in high season, which is really 2 months. And then you've got your May, June, which is also busy, but not as busy as July, August.
Yep.
And then September, October are lesser busy as well. But there's not a lot of places to stay. Like, especially
really not.
We're filming this right as long weekends coming up. I mean, we should be completely full on all ends.
Pretty
and
much.
Everybody else, we'll have people driving up to our camp all day long saying, do you have any space?
Yeah,
Unless we put
exactly.
up a sign. So the point is, Tobermory's become more and more popular as a tourist destination. More and more people have become aware of it. Like, what publications really started talking about it?
Yeah, I'd say probably it was
it Blog TO?
Yeah, Blog TO, Narcity, Canada, a lot of the big blog, different companies within the GTA, within Southern Ontario, all started really promoting Tobermory, and then also promoting us as well too, as kind of a unique destination to go to while you're in Tobermory.
Yeah.
But the whole Bruce Peninsula has been put onto a lot of people's radars over the last little while with its beautiful hiking, like you mentioned. It's also got fantastic scuba diving. It's got really nice beaches too, which some people don't realize.
And it kind of looks like something you'd see in like the south of Greece, like the crystal blue water and stuff. And in that stuff, it's become, the awareness of it is been growing, and it's kind of surprising that it never really was popular.
I'm very surprised.
Before.
Yeah, I'm very surprised. But it goes back to your previous point though, because even before we bought the site, I always wanted to go to Tobermory, but could never find accommodations that were, either that looked good or that were even available for whenever we wanted to go up there. Right, barring just renting a piece of grass and bringing up your own tent. So I think we're really trying to hit that niche and give people different options, so you don't have to just go stay in an old motel. You can actually go stay in something really unique and different.
So we were joking about this off camera that, like, I always say, we're incredibly affordable as a stay. Like, you can't find hotels sometimes for as cheap as you can get a glamping tent. And I'm talking, when I say, I'm talking motels. You can't find motels this cheap. And I consider what we do a luxury stay. Like, it's a luxury experience, but it's still camping. So our price point and accessibility is very good.
For sure.
So, and I think that's one of the things we wanted to cover, why we're so excited here, is a lot of people are looking at Canada saying people are experiencing hard times, looming recession, GDP per capita falling. But the funny thing is, that's all been going on for the last year and a half, 2 years anyway.
Sure.
This whole time we've been growing, like, aggressively too.
Yeah, it's a testament to being kind of that more budget-friendly, wallet-friendly type of accommodation where you can still get a luxury experience without having to jump on a plane, without having to take a very far drive. Because even going to Calgary or even going to the East Coast now is going to cost you $400 or $500 just to get on a plane there and back. Right here, it's going to be a couple hours drive up to Tobermory, and you still get this really luxury feeling experience.
Yeah. So for all those people in the GTA, within a 4 or 5 hour drive of this, that maybe they would have gone to Greece and seen the grotto there. Well, no, maybe we'll just go see the grotto at Tobermory.
Yeah,
and
a little bit cheaper.
It's a little cheaper. So the risk mitigation there for us, and we thought this through a lot, is like, we're really going to make sure that we stay accessible, but we can still charge $250, $300 a night plus cleaning fees. And then we can just lean into, hey, not going to Greece this year or not going to Europe this year. Why not spend some time with us?
For sure.
What's been cool, and I said this off camera to you, Zach, is I think that we probably have lost some people who are a little budget conscious, but despite that, we penetrated the market so much further with natural word of mouth, with our partnerships, which I think have been pretty cool, like just partnering with Explore Ontario and some other places to just do giveaways. Like, what did our giveaway do this year? It was like almost 1 million views on the reel.
Yeah, exactly. Those giveaways have been very, very popular. People love, free 2-night stays, and the different collaborations with local companies and local Instagram pages like that have paid off dividends and have been a huge part of our success and getting the word out there to friends and family and different people in Ontario.
Yeah. So we were ballpark 250 sales in our first year, including regular camping. We were like, I think 460, just over 460. This year we're projecting to be well over 600.
Correct.
And things are moving quite well. And that's the really cool thing that I see when you look at, like, say, an apartment building, like from an investor standpoint. So we're projecting 20% internal rate of return per year. Obviously, we can't guarantee that. That's our projection. That works out to be over 110% over 4 years. So so it would be basically $1. If you invest it, you're going to get $1 back plus your $1.10 on top. So $2.10 back. in 4 years. So that's the simple way of looking at it. If projections come true, of course. And there's cash flow. Part of that is cash flow along the way.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part with this type of investment compared to other investments is that we're offering these bigger returns, but this is already a cash flowing asset. It's not like you're getting into a development play that has no cash flow, that it's a raw piece of land with these big high dreams and high hopes. And yes, these buildings look fantastic on paper and in renderings, but there's no cash flow. So the way we kind of mitigate some of our risk with our site is that this is 2 years already in the making, coming into our third year of cash flow producing. People are coming back. People are seeing us. The majority of our bookings actually happen through our own website. Like we're actually
this year
steering
by far.
away. Yeah, we're steering away from using these other booking platforms because people just trust us and they keep coming back to us. So I think that's a big thing about our campsite, which is why I'm excited about it and which is why I like this type of project, is the cash flow component to it, right? Is having that ability to also produce cash on a day-to-day basis. It's almost like you're not investing in real estate, but you are at the same time. Right? Because it's a business that's on a piece of real estate. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get the 90 acres in Tobermory, but you also get the cash flow from the actual business that's on the property.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up. So based on the ownership structure, we've reorganized it so that by investing in this, a shareholder of this actually owns the land and owns the business together. So, which, they go hand in hand. And just to your point, like the trust that we had to build, that's like blood, sweat, and tears over from when we bought this in 2021 at the end of the year. 2 full seasons completed. We're in the middle of our third season, and we've just been getting people to review us on Google in addition to our almost, what do we have, like 500 reviews almost on Airbnb?
Yeah, we're almost at 500. And I just want to point out here too, because I look at this Google page, 72 reviews, 4.8 star.
Yeah.
We have to give a shout out to our team because it's not me and you up there every single day that are making these 5-star reviews. Our team up there is incredible. We have a great group of people that are part of the Grotto Getaway team, and they really help us make this entire operation go.
Yeah. And then what's really cool is, you just go through, and I, full disclosure, I did post some of these photos on here, but, just, these are a lot of just like guests posting videos and stuff, posting, on Google on their reviews, kind of sharing their experience and showing, what they've been able to do with the site, how they've been able to creatively capture the site. And, it's not like we're perfect. And I know, guys, it sounds a lot like we're tooting our horns here. That's not the intent. Of course, we want to, tell you how awesome we are and our site is, but it's mostly that like we're really proud of it. And of course we want to take it to the next level, and which we haven't said yet, but a big part of the expansion is we've got 90 acres and we're bylaw permitted for 70 camping sites on this park. Well, right now we only have, 26?
We're at 26
listings.
with 3 tents basically going to be completed in the next week or 2, call it.
Yeah. So we want to get that up significantly. Yeah. And that's the point of this raise, is to basically acquire and place new units. So we're talking geodesic domes, other creative units that will pass bylaw. Obviously we can do more tents, more trailers, and also amenities. Yeah. So we can get what people are paying per night up even more. Still stay affordable. Yeah. But we can turn those 2-night stays into 4-night stays, increasing the demand, which ultimately increases your nightly rate.
Exactly. And just on the accommodations, guys, and on the expansion plans, I always love asking people when I talk to them, like, send Andrew, send myself some unique accommodation ideas. Like, what do you want to see on a glamping resort? Like, what's something that you've always wanted to stay in an Airbnb? We'd love to hear some different ideas, because we're looking at expanding an extra 30 accommodations, and we're really got to be creative on how do we still make these accommodations something that people want to come stay in. So we'd love some feedback. We'd love to hear what kind of people want to talk about, or that people want to stay in. And then on the amenities side, even too, we've talked about adding a pool, a hot tub, a cold tub, some saunas, maybe even pickleball courts. We have disc golf coming in this year as well too, so that you can actually come on site, have these different games to play, hang out by the pool on a hot day, go in a cold tub if you want to do that in the morning, if that's part of your routine. So we're going to add all these different things to the site to really make it a place that you can come stay in for 4 or 5 nights and have other things to do on site.
Yeah, I want to make it clear, like, our site is by no means perfect. Like, I think we have very picturesque views, and we're on a pond, but you don't swim directly on site. So one of the things, and we've been growing in spite of that, but one of the things we wanted to do is kind of mitigate that like lack of amenity by adding it in and saying, hey, now we got a pool. We've typically had a lot of 2-night stays. I'd say our average stay is what, 2.5 nights?
For sure.
Something in that range. And we see an opportunity that, like, yes, somebody wants to go hike Lion's Head. They want to go do the glass bottom boat. They want to go eat fish and chips.
Yep, Flower Pot Island.
Yeah, they get all that done, and then 2 days is good. But what if they could do 1 day exploring, 1 day downtime at the site, use the pool, use the hot tub, and then let's do another day exploring, and then let's do another day downtime. Now we go 4 nights.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the idea is we need way less bookings to fill the site, the available rooms per night, and then, or the available rooms. And now we can just provide more accommodations and fill those too.
100%.
So that's the plan there. And obviously we're bootstrapping it. We're going to do everything on a very cost effective basis, staying away from things that require permits, just setting things in place, like a pool that sits on the surface versus something that's going to be constructed in the ground.
Exactly.
Different things like that allow us to move and be very nimble. Like if you invest in the average like apartment development, like they have to go through all the permitting approvals.
Yep.
But we already have the approval to go put up a tent. We already have the approval to go lay out a trailer.
Yeah, and I think that's something we didn't really touch on is the zoning of the campsite, right? Because people always ask me
probably our biggest asset, one of our biggest assets.
It really might be, because people always ask me about short-term rental bylaws. If you guys are in the real estate space, you've probably heard of different cities introducing bylaws to make it very difficult to do short-term rentals. And one of our biggest assets, I do believe, is our zoning that allows us to be tourist-friendly designated zoning, right, which allows us to do these short-term rentals as the city's designated us as a location to have tourists come and go from our campsite. So adding these different accommodations, obviously within the laws of having these 70 campsites on our property, we can really have our free range into what type of accommodations we want to offer. Which I think is a huge part, in a way that mitigates a lot of the risk of short-term rentals, because that is a big risk when it comes to short-term rentals.
Well, I mean, you're always wondering, are they going to come in and regulate me if they don't have regulations? Now, Tobermory already does. They have a set number of rental licenses they'll even approve.
Exactly.
We're exempt from that. We've already had our bump in with the local municipality. We went back and forth on how we're commercial and for the traveling public, and we are exempt from that bylaw. It doesn't apply to us.
And I think that was always obviously just at the beginning. And now as things have progressed, you know, the site's continuing to get better. The reviews keep coming in as really good. People see it really now as a well-running establishment where we're not known for any parties. We're not even known this year for amplified music. We cut that out.
We just simplified this. Yeah.
We really want it to be zen, right? We really want people from the cities to come out to Tobermory and have a super quiet, peaceful experience, not be bothered with loud music. It's not a party place. It's not a place you bring up your boombox and have a party. It's a nice, quiet, relaxing campground.
Don always says grill and chill. So Don's one of our camp managers, says grill and chill.
I like that.
Which it accurately sums it up, and we've been steering it. So no amplified music, no parties. This was known as the party site when we acquired it. It was, and I'm, no disrespect to the previous owner, it was a mess in our observation, and we really, really worked on repairing the relationships with the neighbors to re-earn their trust, which I think we've done in a large degree. I think most of them love us because they realize now after a couple of years, whoa, it's quiet, it's nice.
It's a big change.
And then when people come, we're like, for normal camping, which we're probably phasing out at the end of this year, we're probably one of the most expensive regular camping experiences you could do. Yeah. But we're charging because we're quiet. So we just tell our managers, make sure people understand, like, you're paying more because it's a quiet site.
100%.
It's not about amenities. And of course, some people still want the amenities and they're not happy with that. But that's why we're really, we are going to be adding it, and we're just steering towards the glamping. So for now, it's just, hey, that income's there, we'll take it. And down the road, we're really we're wanting to take this additional raise and just build this out so all 70 of our available spots are all glamping.
100%.
And the craziest thing is one tent. Like last year, our best performing tents were approximately $22,000 in income pre-tax. So taxes on top, HST on top of that. Like, that's a tent.
Yeah.
I mean, we can build a tent and furnish it for 10 grand.
Give or take, yeah. Depending on lumber.
10 grand. The price and cost of lumber and labor is obviously the variable, but that's the flexibility of this, and why one of the reasons we love this so much and why I wanted this site from the beginning is that I just knew scale wise, like you could go out and buy one Airbnb, but you can only have one Airbnb on that lot. Now, if you want another Airbnb, you got to go buy another house, or you got to build an additional unit if the bylaw will allow. You're talking multi-year. In 3 years of owning the site, we're at 26 glamping
and counting
and adding more as we go. Big part of this raise will be additionally hiring extra people to help in the installation of the new units, right? So there's a lot that needs to be done. But when I look at what we're projecting here and just the ability to be nimble, I don't see a lot of investment opportunities floating around showing 20% plus returns that have cash flow. I don't see a lot of that. I'm not saying it's not out there, but I certainly don't see a lot of it. We run a lot of numbers on apartment buildings and burrs, and they can still be good too. Don't get me wrong, but I don't see a lot of stuff happening in this territory.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to diversification, right, guys? Mm-hmm. You know, Ray Dalio, one of the best investors out there, always talks about investing in different asset classes. So, like I said before, this is kind of like investing in real estate, but you're getting exposure to this hospitality asset class that you might not already have exposure to. So this could be your way into that type of asset. Yeah. Andrew, why don't we go through a little bit of the presentation?
Okay, yeah, we have a presentation here, and then we also have, there was a bunch of key points that I was supposed to touch on. So did we touch on?
We're good.
Okay, so the presentation then.
And the thing, guys, with this presentation, if you're listening on audio, you could definitely reach out to us. We're happy to set up a Zoom call or a phone call and kind of go over this presentation with you one-on-one. If you have more questions and you want to go and have a little bit of a deeper conversation. But I think it's good to kind of just highlight some of the main points here.
Yeah, we're happy to talk to you about this if you're interested. You can, of course, see the disclaimers on Atlas One's website, and then I'm going to put a link to access the actual offering on their website because it is hosted there. You would be able to gain access to the term sheet there. You just got to create a free account, and then you can actually view all this stuff. So just so you know, we're only available through an exempt market dealer, so you do have to deal through them. Okay, so you'll find the disclaimer in here. We've already shown a disclaimer, but of course, read this when you take a peek at the whole package. So I'm just going to keep kind of showing people what's in this particular package, so you can see a little bit about our team, who's involved here. So you see Zach and I here, Jacob Campanero, Mike Cordero here as well. Mike doesn't often come on podcasts, so you can see him there though. Okay, so we got a little bit about our company, some photos. Of course, you can check out our socials. You can check out our website, grottogetaway.com, to see more about our accommodations. This is a artistic rendering of our property and where you can find things. We use this to kind of help people see. You know what I would love to do on our site.
I'd love to do a second version of this with all the different expansion ideas and the different things that we plan on doing. So I think it would be really cool to see where we are right now, and then after the expansion, you know, what our vision is with this site. And again, guys, I want to say it one more time, like if you have ideas, we are super open to it. We are not a closed door. We love being creative with different people and brainstorming some new ideas.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, this is nowhere near the full site. Our full site keeps going down this way, where if you can see my cursor, it goes back here. There's a river that runs down this side of the site. So our plan is to have expansion coming in all around here, if you can follow my cursor. And that'll be walk-in glamping, which will be really cool. We're planning on doing some geodomes.
Some mini portaging, I like to call it too.
Yeah, mini portaging. So yeah, we're just managing sort of the, versus the wet area, there is some wetlands on the site. So obviously we want to optimize the use of the dry area and then use the wet area as beautiful stuff that you can observe.
Exactly.
Okay. So there's a little bit of an overview of what our site is here and the buildings that are on it. We have a couple of buildings, the main office at the front, a bathroom building at the back. We've got a portable bathroom building, and anything else I'm missing? We've got a deck overlooking the pond.
Yep, a deck. That's pretty much it for the buildings.
And so the plan here, this is just going over what we acquired the site for. We originally bought around 1.5 million, and we've had appraisals in November 2022 at 3 million. And we've been, again, when you're valuing on a cap rate, and our projections are valuing, I believe it's an 11.5% cap rate, if I'm not mistaken. There are other people who would value this with a lower cap rate, but it doesn't matter what. When you're using math, so every dollar we can increase net operating income, divide that by whatever the cap rate we're using. That's the value we're adding, and that's objectively in an appraiser's report if they're going to use a cap rate. So that's one of the things I love about this, is that if we can show the income strategy, we have a defensible strategy on valuation. And I feel that we're being pretty conservative, but that's just my personal feeling. At 11.5, our appraisers used about, they were in the 9s on our cap
exactly.
rate.
And like any investment, guys, you're going to do a low, a medium, and a high.
Yeah.
And kind of get a range on where you think that after repair value is going to be. So I think that's exactly what we did here.
Yeah. Okay. So we're planning to expand our 34 new units, increasing to a total of 60. We still have expansion room beyond that to go to the 70 in a longer term play. So our offering size here is 1.51 million. We got a price per share of $1. Minimum investment is 25,000.
Yep.
And so we are planning on doing a 10% preferred return, and that's based on cash flow available. So if in the first year, say there wasn't the available cash flow to pay that out, it wouldn't be. But as soon as it's available from operations, we would be paying out a dividend of 10% on your investment. So that's something, again, we're pretty proud to say that we can offer, because not a lot of stuff that, in my observation that I've seen, I haven't seen a whole lot of stuff that will offer that and offer this level of return.
Exactly.
Being very careful about how I say this. I've been told of what I can say, because obviously we all have our opinions. That's just in my experience.
Yeah, and it's projected, right? You see projected IRR, projected ROI, right? All this stuff is projected based on assumptions, based on, you know, some historical data of what we've done in the past, and what we're trying to foresee for the future. Right. Which I don't have a crystal ball, Andrew. I don't know if you have a crystal ball, but you know, we're making the best assumptions that we can with the information that we have. And we're happy to dive into those numbers with anybody. If you want to take it a step further, we can show you kind of the historical revenues that some of these tents and trailers have made, so that you can do your own due diligence as well on that.
Yeah, nearing the top, as our Airstream had done high 20,000s, like 28-ish. And we've had our other trailers, like, you know, we had one trailer that we picked up for around $7,500 and, you know, did a light reno on it, a paint, and that one's consistently performed over 20 grand a season.
It's been fantastic.
Like stuff like that, it just gets me fired up, because if you look at the payback on one unit, we're paying it back like sometimes twice in one season. Usually anything we add comes close or does pay back the season we buy it. Unless, of course, we have a few exceptions, some more expensive, really nice trailers that we do have. Those ones we spent a bit more on. Naturally, they didn't pay back quite as quick. But still quite, they are now. It's like, oh, is it going to be 2 years instead of one? That's maybe happened on, 2 or 3 of our units. So been pretty fortunate there. So investment process, this just outlines kind of how you do it. So you would have to create an account at Atlas One. There's an offering page where you get all this information. As we said, it's available through an exempt market dealer.
Exactly.
They talk to you about suitability. We don't do that. We're not the dealer. We're the issuer. Our company is the issuer. So yeah, that's basically the quick pitch deck. There's also the term sheet that you would find. Again, you just have to click through the link that's available on this episode, and that gives you an opportunity to actually go in, create the account, learn all about what we're doing, and then, of course, anything about the actual project, the site, the business that you guys want to know, you can actually just reach out to us. We're pretty open to that kind of thing. So for me, my email is andrew@andrew-hines.com, or Andrew-Hines, depending on how you like to say that. And Zach, how do we have people reach you if they have questions?
Yeah, I'd say the email right on this slide deck here, marketing.grottogetaway@gmail.com is probably the best place to reach out. Okay. I'm checking that email all the time, guys, and I'm always looking specifically for Grotto Getaway on that email.
Yeah, so if you have specific questions for that, that's great. And then, like I said, the link for the information from our exempt market dealer is right below. If you're watching on the video, or if it's a podcast platform you're on now, you can check it out in the show notes.
Exactly.
And did we cover it all?
I think we covered it all. We hit our notes. Guys, if you do have any more questions, obviously we're happy to answer them. We just wanted to do a quick little video about the offering and about what we have going on at the campground. We'd love if you want to come stay with us as well too. So reach out if you want to come stay at the campground with us. Yeah, I think we hit it. Yeah,
and we didn't say that, but people who partner with us and invest with us here, they get a special discounted rate to stay.
That's the gravy on top.
Just a little cherry on top.
You get a little discount as well too.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed our little horn tooting. We're not trying to toot our horns, but yeah, we just wanted to share the opportunity. Obviously, we're excited about it, and it's part of our business. Right, this is our business. If we weren't enthusiastic about it, we wouldn't be doing it.
Exactly.
And I'm grateful that we have this platform that we can share it with you. So this will probably end up making it onto my main podcast too in some creative way. But REI Hot Seat listeners get it first, and. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Show the channel some love, guys. We'll see you again for a deal analysis next week.
See you guys.